right now on Denver 7 News at 6 a.m.
Suddenly I heard this really large crash. Some of our neighbors said that they felt vibration.
Very frightening for the community. Could have easily hit a home or someone out walking.
For the second time in just weeks, a Broomfield neighborhood shaken after a plane crashes just feet away from homes.
Witnesses take us into the final moments of that ill-fated flight. I'm Denver 7's Veronica Acosta. This morning, federal officials are working to find out what went so wrong.
Plus, a warning about a new virus that's spreading.
It is something that everybody should be concerned about.
What we're learning about monkeypox and how the U.S. says it's prepared to handle it.
And it's game 4 tonight between the Avs and Blues, but overshadowing that, a player getting threats for a play from Saturday's game.
Loose puck, down goes Bennington.
Well, the Avs now ahead by a game in their series against the Blues, but we'll look into those threats coming up. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm Nicole Brady.
And I'm Brian Sanders. And just as we get cleaned up from our spring snow, it's going to be a wet start to the week, Lisa. Not good. My boys start baseball practice this week.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure the fields are going to be in any shape.
No, it's pretty wet, pretty muddy out there. And we're going to see a few more scattered storms and showers both today and tomorrow. Things are really going to warm up and dry out, though, by Wednesday. As your kids are heading off to school, potentially the last Monday of the school year for them, low 40s here at the bus stop early on, right around 60 by the time they get home this afternoon. So we're going to see some pretty mild conditions. It's about 10 degrees below normal, though, and still picking up a little bit of snow in through the northern and central mountains this morning. A few showers out east, mainly just cloud cover here in town right now, but we'll see a few showers develop this afternoon. No real risk of any severe weather, though, today, although we could get a little thunder and lightning. 43 in Denver right now, so the plants are now officially safe. You can uncover them, bring them back out. We're in the low 60s here by this afternoon, so it is going to be, again, a little cooler than normal. Even cooler tomorrow, and a better chance that you're going to see wet roads tomorrow, Jason, on Tuesday. I'll show you that coming up.
And I got to already see some wet roads down to the south, obviously out to the west where we've had some of those snow showers Lisa was mentioning, but you can see the fog is hanging real thick here for us right over Monument Hill, so it is going to be a wet drive from south of Larkspur, south of Castle Rock, all the way down into Monument, the north side of the Springs. Take a look at the drive downtown Denver, where we have a restriction right around, we'll talk more about that in just a second, right around the rescue mission, so you might still see some restrictions in there, but it looks like a lot of the roads have reopened. 20th Street gets you at I-25 out of downtown pretty easily. Speaking of that, take a look at 20th I-25, and you can see it's basically looking great. Dry roads for us here, not seeing any issues there. The rest of the drive times look just fine, whether it's going to be out to the east side of town or to the south side. So just starting to see that traffic build up a little bit here this morning.
Yeah.
Well, a small plane just barely missed homes. Fortunately, when it crashed into a Broomfield neighborhood over the weekend, it killed both people on board.
First responders called it a miracle, though, that no one was hurt on the ground. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joins us from the scene. That area is still blocked off for people this morning who may be going to work or school, Veronica.
It is a small area, at least. And Brian, you said it, that plane crash happened just feet away from homes. Take a quick look here behind me, 2 on either side of it, and really an entire neighborhood here. As you can imagine, a really terrifying moment for the people who actually live in this community. It was a nice day yesterday. People were out walking their dogs. They were enjoying the day when that small plane came crashing down. We spoke with one woman who lives in this neighborhood and heard the crash as she was getting ready. Go ahead and take a listen.
My husband was saying, I said, it sounds like a plane crash to me. And he said, we listened, and it was odd because there wasn't any bang, bang, bang. It was just this thud.
Now, Sherry Jones, who you just heard from there, she told us that her neighbors were among the first out of their homes checking on that plane crash, really trying to figure out what had just happened. She told us those neighbors tried to help the victims in the plane, but realized they were dead, unfortunately, pretty quickly. The single-engine plane came down in the small neighborhood. It's called the Anthem Ranch subdivision. It all happened just before noon, and the plane itself took off from the Erie Municipal Airport. Now, according to the FAA registry, it was a 56-year-old plane, and now, as you can imagine, comes that full-blown investigation into how exactly this happened. The FAA, the NTSB, they're in charge of that. Now, after investigators verify the plane's registration number, they'll release that. We expect that to happen sometime today. Officials will also be giving us some more information later this morning, and of course, we will pass that on as soon as we have it. We're live in Broomfield this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Wow, very scary. And Veronica, as you know, of course, this is the second deadly crash in that area in just the past couple of weeks. A pilot was killed after a single-engine plane crashed at El Dorado Boulevard and Interlochen Loop in Broomfield on May 11th. He had taken off from Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airport.
We are following some breaking news this morning. Denver police are investigating a triple shooting on Lawrence Street. This is not far from the Denver Rescue Mission and Samaritan House. We know the victims are 2 men and a woman. Police have not released information about a suspect, though. Aurora police are asking witnesses to come forward after a separate triple shooting. They say it happened after a fight at an apartment complex. This is video from the scene Sunday outside Park Place at Expo Apartments. This is off of South Havana and East Exposition. All 3 people shot have serious injuries, but they are expected to be okay.
Well, it is the last week of school for several metro districts. Today is the last day for Adams 14. 3 schools will wrap up the year on Wednesday, including Jeffco schools. 6 schools get out for the summer on Thursday. Friday is the last day for Cherry Creek, and then in Denver, kids got to go a little bit longer till June 3rd. With school letting out, many parents are planning for summer camp. I asked the chief medical officer at Swedish Medical Center what to consider now that COVID cases are rising again.
Should we assume camps and things like that are relatively safe, or should parents think of any other issues with that?
Vaccines are approved for kids above the age of 5, so I would continue to focus on kid vaccinations because that number has been low as well. But otherwise, I believe continuing with the camps is okay. The surge that is being predicted by the Colorado School of Public Health is still not as bad as the previous surge, so we're predicting a much lower number of hospitalizations. And again, if your kids are vaccinated, I would be feeling safe enough to let them go to camps and continuing their regular activities.
Dr. Kumar did add that if your children are in a high-risk group, they should wear a mask while indoors.
Well, this morning, President Biden says the U.S. is prepared should cases of monkeypox spread. That's just a few hours after he told reporters we should be concerned about this virus that's typically only found in Africa, but a handful of cases have been found in both the U.S. and Europe. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us live with an update from the White House and doctors on what we need to know.
Yeah, President Biden sent a more encouraging message this morning saying that the smallpox vaccine would be effective against monkeypox, and he added that there would be enough vaccine supply in the U.S. if it was needed. Monkeypox is a disease rarely found outside of Africa, but there have been 80 cases confirmed worldwide and another 50 possible cases that are being investigated. This disease is similar to smallpox with milder symptoms, and typically it takes 2 to 4 weeks to recover from monkeypox, but it can be deadly in some cases. Experts say while people should be careful, they don't think this rises to the level of concern we saw with COVID-19.
This is a virus that's not nearly as transmissible as something like COVID-19. It requires very close, some people say face-to-face intimate contact. Its transmissibility is way down. And it's important to remember that because it does have some resemblance to smallpox, although it produces much less severe disease, we have all of these antiviral drugs, at least 2 different antiviral drugs and 3 different vaccines.
And so far, there have been 2 confirmed cases of monkeypox in the U.S., one in New York and one in Massachusetts, and there is a 3rd possible case that is being investigated in Florida. Live this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thanks, Christian. Well, the Avs are now in the lead in their playoff series against the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, they lead 2-1. That's the good news. Game 4 is tonight, but it's getting pretty intense. They beat the Blues 5-2 on Saturday, but not without controversy over this play. About 7 minutes in, Nazem Kadri and a Blues player were chasing a loose puck. You can see they collided, but it caused Kadri to barrel into the Blues goalie, and the goalie is now out for the rest of the series with a knee injury.
You know, defenseman kind of collided with me and pushed me into him. So, you know, had that not been the case, I don't think I would have hit him at all. It's a loose puck. I'm just trying to bang it in.
Just one of those freak plays. The refs didn't call a penalty on Kadri, and the NHL says it is not looking into the incident any further. However, Kadri has received threats after the play. The Avs say they're now working with St. Louis law enforcement to investigate. The puck drops tonight at 7:30. Lisa.
They're going so fast. And you see that scenario. How in the world would you ever stop yourself? There's no, and one of our players is now out. Gerard's out because of that game as well. So we have much more to talk about on that. But weather-wise, take a look. You can see here along the Front Range, scattered showers possible this afternoon. Some wet roads today, wet roads again tomorrow, and then things will really start to warm up and dry out.
And you can see right now up on Highway 36, it looks pretty nice. Dealing with some sun glare on that eastbound side as the camera's moving around, just taking pictures for the CDOT website. But you can see on the eastbound side, it looks okay. Westbound side also looking okay. So no big delays for us here between Boulder and Denver, Superior, Broomfield right now.
Well, the first shipment of baby formula from overseas has landed in the U.S. Why it will not be used to fill empty store shelves, though.
And one of the most beautiful hikes in Colorado is reopening, but you may want to act fast to get a reservation today.